This is a 1999 Jeep Wrangler TJ, and I'm having power steering problems. I pretty much have no power steering right now. And when I look at the pump, the overflow is puking out the overflow. And if you can see that way down there, it's dripping all over the differential actually. Like the lines are wet. So I'm going to remove this pump. It's not too hard. I have a inline 4, so just a little 4-cylinder. Pretty much you get 2 bolts, one right here and one back here. The one in the back I've already loosened. The one in the front, I just sprayed it with some WD-40. That one loosened right up as well. This is the original pump that's been on here. So, and I live in the Rust Belt, so if these bolts come off for me, I'm pretty sure they're going to come off for anyone. The only other 2 things I have to take off is this is the high pressure line, and down here is the return. The return is just held on by a hose clamp, a metal hose clamp. This top one, it is threaded on, so I made sure to soak that pretty good before I try to get that off. Okay, the first thing I did obviously was remove the belt. The belt is held on by a tensioner. This bolt right here, you thread in or out, and it increases or decreases the tension on the belt. That bolt for me has always given me trouble because I do live in the Rust Belt, and I'm not going to mess with that. So what I did was I just took this top idler pulley right there. I just pulled that off, slid the belt off. I had to slide it off that idler right there, and then it easily came off the power steering pump. The pump has holes in it, so just rotate it to where the bolt is showing through the hole. It is a 13 millimeter, goes right through the hole. The second one is over there. Obviously when you go to pull these lines off, you're going to have power steering fluid dripping all over, so make sure you catch that in a pan. All right, here we are, power steering line. I used a 5/8 on it. It was a little bit of a tight fit, so I just tapped it on the end. This has not been off. Like I said, I've had this Jeep since it was brand new, and I know this pump has never been changed, so I'm going to go ahead and take a hammer. I'm just going to tap this, and it actually moved very easily. Initially, it was stuck on this line. This thread's on the line, so make sure this line is not turning. So I had to turn it back and forth a few times to free it up from this line, and then now it seems to be moving pretty easily. All right, I went ahead and put my catch pan down below. You can see what type of a fit this is on there, but this is going to turn pretty easily now. There is a plug on this line. You'll need to remove that plug. This has clearly never been off. Plug is like, this plug does not want to come off. Oh, now I broke the plug. My goodness. There we go, my Lord. I don't know what the issue was with that plug, but clearly it did not want to come off. Anyway, got it now, broken, but at least I got it. And seeing that this pump is bad, I mean, I'm no expert, but I have no idea what condition the steering box is in. Hopefully it's not that. I'm thinking the problem is the pump. But you do want to flush out your power steering fluid because, oh, look at the quality of that fluid. That's just bad. Look at how brown it is. Ooh, it stinks so bad. Yeah, that fluid is clearly all burned up. So I'm just going to let that drip in my pan, if the pan catches it. Alright, so this bottom one, like I said, that is just a kind of a hose clamp, so hopefully I can grab that with the pliers and just yank that off there. At least in a perfect world, that's what would happen. But I'm assuming this bottom one's going to break, so I'm not even going to really try to... I mean, if I have to break it off, that's fine, because I'm just going to replace the hose clamp. This is like a factory style one. These are just notorious for being turds. There we go. So yeah, if we look at this, you probably can't tell, but there's a little hook right there. This thing is clamped in the back. Supposedly that hook is supposed to come undone, but like I said, that thing's not coming undone after 20 Minnesota winters, so. Alright, theoretically, this line is just going to pull off. Oh, I'm making a big mess on the ground. Should probably get that mess cleaned up. Oh, there we go. Is that going to go in my pan? Hopefully. Alright, so I got those lines off there. And my thought, there's actually a bracket right here. This is actually what is connected to that bolt right there that I was talking about earlier. That is kind of like the tensioner. But I don't think I got to remove this bracket. I'm hoping that I can just remove these two bolts and the pump will just slide this way. We will find out. There we go. All right. So, theoretically, I should come out of there if I can knock it out of there. Okay. So she's hung up there, huh? Maybe I should get a proper hammer. Alright, so my thought is that I should be able to just tap this out of here. Alright, after tapping unsuccessfully, I was not able to get that out. And then I got up here, and yeah, there's another bolt way down in there that I missed. So, yeah, don't keep hammering on that when you don't have all the bolts out. This bolt out. I'm so smart. This one is a little harder to see there. Am I on it? Just kind of go by feel, I guess, huh? Feels like it's on there. I'm just going to put a little bit of pipe on there. Pipe action. Please don't break. Please don't break. Just turn. Sometimes if you just do a little chant, you know, send some good vibes, some good spirits to it, they cooperate. So this one seems to be cooperating. Oops. Alright, so there we go. There's the bottom one. Now that should come right out of there. So I'm unhooked, there we go. There we go. There it is. There we go. There it is. I'm gonna take that in the house and see if I can rebuild on it. All right, I got the pump all rebuilt. I used Vaseline for reassembly. Vaseline fully dissolves in the power steering fluid. That's the kit I used. It's an Edelman. I got it off Amazon. And then I cleaned up the bolts. Now it's time for reinstall. Earlier I had broken that hose clamp, so I'm going to replace it with this type of hose clamp. Even with hose clamps, you don't want to overdo it. I usually get it snug, and then if it starts leaking, you can go back and tighten it up at that point. And whenever you're tightening flared fittings, you need to make sure that you get this hard line lined up just right. If you don't have that lined up right, you're going to be trying to put this flared fitting on at an angle, and you're only going to booger things up. So if it feels like it's not lined up right, just pull it off, realign it. All right, and then earlier, this is that clip that I broke off, but I don't know, I feel pretty good that it's going to stay on there. It does still have this tab, so as long as I get that hooked under that hole, I should be okay. Yeah, like you just heard it click on there, so I'm pretty confident that's going to stay on there. All right, and then when I'm done, I usually just go through my little checklist. Like, I got the pump back on, I got all those bolts tightened, I got the belt back on, I have that pulley tightened, I have these lines tightened, got the plug back in. I think I'm all set to add some power steering fluid. And this is a 1999, so it does take just power steering fluid. I think it was after 2003 or something that they actually switched to like ATF. All right, so I expect this to whine like crazy and then hopefully not leak. Keep your fingers crossed. So let's go out and see if we have any leaks. That's my puddle from earlier. All right. All seems pretty good. Ignore that squeak. I just have a squeak somewhere in the steering column. It's always had it. Oh yeah. All seems good. Thanks for watching.